Greetings and welcome to another Petros homemade wooden clock update. Today is December 24th, 2019. It's Christmas Eve. And it is like 70 degrees outside, so I'm in the garage. Spending a couple hours working on the clock. And I wanted to show you my progress because I'm pretty excited about it and tell about my plans for the future. So, here we got our clock. Let's see if it'll let me. Yes, it will. Okay, so here's our clock. All the parts laid out. I've got all the parts cut and rough sanded using 80 to 100 grit paper, sandpaper, and a variety of tools to do it. So let's just look at our gears here. There's the escape wheel. Here's the verge, the escape wheel and its pinion. All right, and then that's going to connect with this, I think they call it the second gear, and its pinion. And then next we've got the minute gear, which is the biggest, baddest mamma jamma there is. Goes right on top and connects with its pinion there. And then on top of that, we're going to have the motor gear. This is where the string winds around. Yeah. No. What am I doing wrong? Oh, yes, that goes there. Motor gear. And its pinion. This pinion is technically going to be on the front of the clock. Like if this is the front, there's going to be a hole somewhere and this is going to sit on the front of the clock. So imagine there's a piece of frame there. Goes there. And this is also on the front of the clock. The hour hand is going to be physically attached to that gear there. So there you go. There's your whole gear train. Lined up. Cool, huh? Here we got our frame pieces. I've got sanding sealer on them. I have not applied it to anything else yet. So I don't know the first thing about woodworking. I really don't. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos and I'm not going to pretend like I even know enough that it's worth passing on. If you get to this point with your clock, do your own research. There's tons of books on the subject and figure out how you want to finish your clock. So my plans are to talk to some people, figure out how to finish these, like varnish or lacquer or whatever I'm going to do to them. And then over the next few days, I'm going to apply sanding sealer. I'm going to sand them with 220 grit sandpaper. No, 320. 320, I need to go get some new stuff. 320 grit sandpaper, and then lacquer it. I might varnish the gears so that the moving parts are a different color than the frame. Or maybe I have that the other way. Maybe I should varnish the frame. See, I haven't even thought through this yet. I didn't expect I'd ever get this far. But here they are, all the parts. You got your pendulum here. Okay, you got a rib, because the pendulum is going to be hollow inside, so you can fill it with pennies to give it some weight. There you go. You got a little pendulum sandwich. You've got your weight. This is the weight that's actually going to drive the clock. I've got all these spines glued together and sanded. Not very well, but good enough. And that's going to go on there to give that some thickness. Okay. And this one's going to glue on there. And once I get it sanded and lacquered, I'm going to glue it as one piece and resand the bottom so it looks real nice. Okay, so this weight is going to be hung by two pulleys, comme ça, like that. And then let's get the pulleys. The pulleys are a sandwich. You've got the outer, the inner, and then another outer. So it makes a place for the string to go around on the inside. There. Same deal over here. Outer, inner, and then outer again. And then on the other side, you're going to have two more of these. And these should be, if you space them right, they should glue right inside of your weight trough. There, won't that be cool? Won't that be a cool weight? It's got these two pulleys there. Should balance out just right. And you can put as many pennies as you want in there. You'll be able to look inside and see the pennies. I think that'll be a cool weight. And given that it's not particularly long, like a lot of them are like pine cone shaped. Since this is not very long, it interferes less with the amount of distance they can actually drop. So I'm pretty proud of that. Let's look at your whatever that thing's called, the verge, the anchor. So the verge assembly is going to be, you got your verge adjustment bar. I don't know which way it goes. We'll pretend it goes that way. You got that laying on top of there. You're going to have a bunch of little bearings in there. You've got the top part of the verge adjustment bar, and then there's these two little squares. They're going to be the sides that give you the spacers. There's one. Here's the other. Oh, assembly is coming up. My goal is, if I stay on schedule at this point, assembly proper will begin on New Year's Day. New clock for New Day. There you go. And this is the same kind of assembly for the verge as I used on the Petros. No, as the Peace Tower paper clock by Revit. If you've been following along with that one, you know I created my own homebrew escapement for it so it would run longer. And there it is. Okay, let's talk about the motor gear. Motor gear. This one's going to be a little more advanced assembly. It's going to be harder to show you here because I need pins and springs out of... You're going to need 4 cheap retractable pins and take the springs out of them. So this thing goes like this. I don't remember if that's the right way or not. See, this one's going to be spinning counterclockwise when it's running. So to wind it, you need to be able to go chick, 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 and then it will push. Yes, that is the right way. That is the right way for that to go. And these will go like this. On little pins. And I will show you more details about this once it's actually assembled with all the pins and springs and everything in place. So that'll keep that. And then we've got a motor guide. And then we've got the motors. These are the spools that the string winds around. So we got one for the weight string, and it'll come off in both directions and unwind simultaneously. And then you have a little guide, and then you have one for the winding string. That's a string that you pull counter to its direction of travel. As you lift up on the bottom of the weight, you'll be able to pull on this string, and then this will ratchet up and wind up the string. Cool, huh? Yeah. And then you've got another guide there. Okay. Cool, cool. And then on the front of the clock will be this gear. Okay, so there's going to be frame there, and then this gear on top, and this one here, and that's going to turn the hour hand. Okay, the hour hand, I do not have any hands on this table. That's the one thing you'll notice is I have not designed the hands yet because I haven't settled on a design for the front of the clock. I don't know what kind of style of numerals I want to use, if I want to have a lot of little divisions, or if I want it to be really plain and minimalist, Bauhaus. I don't know. I don't know what I want the front of the clock to look like. I think it'll come to me. By the time that I get to the point where I need a face on the clock, I will know what the character of this clock should be. Fancy, modern, futuristic, old-fashioned, simplistic. I don't know. I do know that I really like my watch. The two things I like about this watch that I'm drawing for inspiration is, one, the time features are in blue. If you want to know what time it is, look for blue. The hands are blue, the numerals are blue. And there's nothing else on it except the numerals and the hands in terms of telling time. If you want to look at its operation, you look for gold and silver. The gears are gold, the frame is silver. Isn't that nice? So I can look at this thing, if I want to look at it for fun, for its operation, look for silver and gold. If I want to tell the time, I look for white and blue. I really like that. I really like how they decided to separate out the style and function with a color code. I didn't even know that before I got the clock. I just realized it by looking at it. And, you know, that's fun. I've got another watch that has a whole bunch of crap going on the dial. You have to stare at it for a few minutes just to figure out what time it is because it's so complicated and busy. And I don't think I like that. So I'm leaning towards a minimalist style on the front, but minimalist can be either good or bad, depending on what you choose. So just Google clock faces, pick one you like, put it on there. And I will cut the hands accordingly. So that's that. That's where I'm at. Pretty excited about all this. I guess there's one more piece I could talk about before I let you go, and that's this. This seemingly blank, uncharacteristic square piece, and there's two of these. Uh-oh, where's the other one? I am missing. Oh, well, gotta track that down. There should be two of these. What this does is you glue these on here, one there and one there, and this mounts to the wall. And this creates a gap that the frame will fit over the back of this gap. Shunk. Okay, so this is how you anchor it to the wall. You actually mount this piece to the wall, and then the whole clock just sits on top of that. That way you don't have to worry about trying to mount the clock to the wall, and if you have to take it off to work on it, it's super easy. And it'll keep it level and balanced and all that. So that's what that is, and I need to find the other one of these. That's no good. I wonder if it's a, oh, there it is. There it is, I found it. Oh, yes. Okay, so this mounts on the wall. This will slip over the top. These two glue on here, and that holds the whole clock in place. So if you need to take it apart to work on it, just zoop, and the clock comes off. I thought that was pretty clever. Okay, that's enough. That's enough for today. Have a Merry Christmas, y'all, and wish me luck. And if I stay on track, it'll be a very happy New Year.